Last week pink, this week purple. Come on, man.
It's the spring colors.
What are you trying to do to me?
The Easter tones.
You're already better looking.
It's called
And
confidence.
taller. The hell?
I don't know. It's
Hey, you know that purple's, royalty.
there it goes.
Because you're
I didn't want
royalty.
to wear black and gray. And had to mix it up the next 2 weeks.
Hey, I'm excited
I am
about our guests today. What do you have to say about it?
I'm excited because they both have Miami ties. It's always good talking to people
But
from
we have
Miami.
local boys here all the time.
So it makes it a little more exciting for
There
me
you go.
because
There
you get to
you
learn
go.
about people in different neighborhoods in our own city. So
I love it. I love it. Did you have a good week?
of course, busy but good.
Well, let's introduce our first guest, Ulysses. Well, no, let me say it the way I know
You
how
got
to
to
say
be
it.
an announcer right now.
Yeah. So we're gonna introduce Ulysses the Monster Diaz.
Hey, thank you so
All
much for having
right.
me, man. I appreciate you guys, man.
My
Oh, yeah, and
God,
the shirt looks great, dog. By the way.
Don't tell him that. You're gonna feed his ego.
Normally I'm in hoodies though.
Yeah.
You're gonna feed his ego. He has a big enough ego as it is,
That's all right.
But anyway, all right. Before we get to, and what we like to do here is just go straight in.
Yeah, that's
all right.
You know me, I like to do it quick, fast.
I know. That's where I'm going with it. Listen, I counted 1, 2, and I couldn't finish.
By the way, that's only in fighting that I'm fast, all right?
Listen, all I counted was 2, not 3, not 3.5, not 2.5, 1, 2. The quickest knockout in bare knuckle history,
Sure.
or is it just any fighting?
In combat sports history.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I saw that. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't think the guy was ready.
Yeah,
Did he
no.
want to do over?
He definitely wasn't ready, obviously. And he woke up not even knowing if the fight happened or not yet. You know what I mean?
It was crazy. I saw it in slow motion, Nick. And since I have that, that medical background, I saw his eyes roll. And
It's not a good thing.
it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing
Medically.
because, the way I think like, I don't pretend I'm a hacker, right?
Right, no, you're a doctor.
Right.
Brain damage immediately.
Right. And they call me biohack or whatever. So watch this. So when I look at these reactions, I'm thinking molecularly, and I'm watching his brain go. I'll do this in slow motion so I can make it more impactful. Whoa.
Well, listen, if anybody knows, Nick knows
Unbelievable.
we're going against some linebackers and all that in the
Jesus
league, boy. Them brains be
Christ.
rattling.
That was impressive. And I saw your first fight in bare knuckle.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that. Let's talk a little bit. We'll just touch on your other records, which are impressive as it is.
Thank you.
In boxing, 12-1.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Is
11
that
knockouts, yeah.
is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
That one, because I've seen you fight that one. When you had a bad day.
Man, you know
woke
what?
up.
It was more of a lesson than a loss. You know what I mean? I
hear you.
needed that at
Every
that
le-
moment. And
Every loss is a lesson, right?
Exactly. Absolutely.
And in MMA, 2-0,
No, 1-0 in
1-0?
MMA with one knockout also.
and bare knuckle,
2-0.
2-0. I saw your first fight. Impressive.
2 knockouts and one of them the fastest in
Yeah,
history.
and thank God I didn't go get a drink because I would have missed the whole thing.
Let me tell you that people, you know how you have to look back to see where your seat's at when you go to sit down. So
Yeah.
they watch me come up. They introduced us. We face each other. As soon as they're like, all right, let me sit down and watch this fight. It was over.
It was over.
It was over.
It was
I got
done.
people at the fight saying, what happened? I got them on camera.
Yeah.
What happened?
We were talking about that before because it's like that's reality. That's what it is in the street.
Right.
So we were talking like the rounds are what, 2 minutes?
Yeah, 2-minute rounds. Yeah.
In a real fight in the street, it doesn't last 2 minutes.
No, absolutely not.
It's like a 10-second fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Opalaka don't last 2 minutes.
Nah, absolutely not. Opalaka's less than that for sure.
Yeah. Miami Gardens no 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds.
No,
Hey, Nick has a record of his own in fights, unofficial.
Yeah. No, listen, yeah. And Miami's well known for all those unofficial, quick knockouts on Miami streets.
Absolutely. And you are 40 years old. Is that right?
I just turned 40 last week, March 14th.
Happy
Spicy
birthday.
season.
Happy birthday. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
But you've only been fighting how long?
I've been fighting professionally now. It's going I'm going into 4.5 years, going into my 5th year.
Okay, so you've been fighting professional
Yeah,
4.5 years.
I started late, man. I was, I grew up in Miami, born and raised here. I was always getting in trouble as a kid for fighting. I was just never a bully, always like a defender of my friends. And I love not picking them, but I'm ready for a fight at any time. Got me in a lot of trouble as a kid. As a young adult, I went to prison for fighting on the streets. When I got out, I always trained. I did amateur boxing as a kid. I always liked fight. I was always into fighting. I did MMA very young too. And then went to prison, came out of prison, I was with Pitbull, great friend of mine, childhood friend. I did bodyguarding, traveled the world, it was amazing. But I grew up on the streets doing street things, you know what I mean? I really didn't know any better, never had a father figure, and I don't say this for a pity trip or nothing, this is the truth. Never had an uncle, a dad, anybody to tell me, yo, kid, do this, you know what I mean? Don't worry about that. And so I tried to figure it out on my own. It was always went the wrong way. And when I was 35, I was living in Colorado. I was part of the gold rush, Right. And I just had this, exactly. The green rush.
The green rush.
And I had this come to God moment, bro. I had this come to God moment. First time I was a day-to-day guy, living my life day to day. First time in my life, I was sitting there, I was 35. I go, damn, 10 years from now, I'll be 45. Still trying to, figure this shit out, bro. You know what I mean? This ain't none. This ain't got no retirement plan, no nothing. You know what I mean? And it brought me to my knees. I had to come to God. I had tears in my eyes and everything. I was like, I can't do this shit. I called a transport company. I packed up my car full of my shit. Whatever didn't fit, I don't care. I flew to Miami. Car got there a couple of days later, and I just I stayed boxing. And that was November 2016, November, December, right before New Year's. I told my coach at the time, I said, I got to do this fight. It was more of like a bucket list thing. I got to do this shit. I've always been good at it. I never really got to the end of pursuing like a professional fight. Let me get this. Let me take some pictures. Say I did it for my kids. My moment. And I went to Dominican Republic. I fought. I won it by first round knockout. And it was like the biggest rush I've ever had in my life. Best high, best anything I've ever had in my life was that moment. And I said, let me try this. And I stuck with it. And here I am 4.5 years later, fastest knockout in combat sports history. Changed my life around. Fighting's giving me I came from the streets from doing shit that I couldn't even talk about to being on a platform where I can speak to people like you guys. I got Fighting versus Hunger. We spoke about earlier. I feel
I want to talk about a little bit about that too.
I got the Miami Dolphins are involved. Ray's Pizza, Lucila's Cakes. A lot of people get involved. From the city. It's been amazing. The Miami Dolphins help these small businesses that have been going through headaches through this pandemic shit. And giving them money for meals, and we go and just literally hand out meals to people sitting under the bridge. There's hundreds of tents out there. If you're from Miami, you drive through downtown or Overtown, you know what it is. So fighting has given me this platform, man. It's been an amazing thing.
Listen, you have something that world champions have besides a hell of a punch. You got showmanship.
Thank you.
And I could say this because I saw his fight.
Yeah,
you saw his fight on YouTube, right? No, but I saw it live. This guy comes in like a tornado. I don't know how many people come in with you, and I don't know what kind of movements they're doing.
Yeah,
but it looks like a moving like circus. You know what I mean?
No, whenever I fight down here, it's
great, but it's entertaining.
Yeah,
and that's what people want to see.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, although you're competing, you're in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe not for yourself, because you have your own goals, but for all of us, the rest of us, you're entertaining us. Right. By the way, you're a hell of an entertainer. What's your next fight? Do you know what's next for you?
As of right now, I know you had Baboon on the other day. That's my boy, my brother. Shout out to Luis Palomino.
Yeah,
2-time bare knuckle champion, undisputed. He's an amazing guy, a badass fighter. We're supposed to be fighting on the same card, which is May 21st at the Hard Rock Stadium. Biggest crowd ever for bare knuckle. It's supposed to be the biggest fight ever.
About 14,000 people are
14,000 people
expected. Guy spoke with Baboon.
Right. So we're on that same card.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And, which is an honor, man. I love fighting with him. That guy's a veteran in the game, and it's amazing for a guy like me, this short amount of time in his career, but these opportunities that I'm getting. Right. And what's helped a lot is me getting out there and speaking to people. And, I use everything I can to my advantage in a good way. You know what I mean? I don't take advantage of anything, but I use it to my advantage. And everything's been amazing.
I have a question. Do you use a trainer in each of the sport, like a different trainer, or is it the same trainer?
Well, for boxing and bare knuckle and even my MMA fight is my coach. Shout out to Commander Zero. Orlando Guayar just made the Hall of Fame this year. Awesome trainer. Yeah, world champions under his belt. And for MMA, I trained with Yoel Romero, which is, bad mofo from Cuban from Miami, my guy, my brother. And he got me ready for my MMA fight. But as for boxing, whenever anything has to do with stand-up, my coach, always.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you train in the same gym.
Yeah. During the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, I'm blessed that I moved into this house a couple of years ago, and my backdoor neighbor happens to be my boxing coach that I've known for years.
Was that really a coincidence, or did
biggest coincidence of life, bro?
No, you know what that is?
God put that together.
That's God.
No, listen, I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual, bro. And God, that's a blessing, positive energy. So during the pandemic hit, he'd come around to my backyard, with his shield on, because he's a 60-year-old man, but he's in shape. Shield, mask, everything on. We'd hit the mitts, and then as time came by, we saw, okay, this shit's for real. It's not going to be a week, 2 weeks. It's going to be months. I have a ring in my backyard now. I have bags.
That is
I have
great.
10 people a day come to my backyard and train. We call it the jungle gym. I've had people, regular people, 9 to 5 people. I've had Kobe coming back there. Baboon. I've had Hector Lombard. World champions, and it's been amazing, man. And we're still running it. The jungle gym is there every day. That's where I train.
Speaking of a gym in the backyard, did you have any involvement with any of the backyard brawls?
I didn't. That happened. That started taking off as soon as I got out of prison, and it was already a big thing,
Right.
George took off from there, which George is a great dude. Kimbo, rest in peace. It became a huge movement. And at that time, I came out of prison. I was trying to figure it out. I was traveling the world with Pitbull.
I remember George. He was one of the fighters. He's the one with the long hair.
Right. Yeah.
So he's fighting professionally now too.
Yeah. No, he's on the top sport in UFC. Yeah. He actually. So this is what's dope too. I have the fastest knockout in combat sports history. The next one after me and the fastest knockout in UFC history is him. 2 guys from Miami with the fastest knockouts. He has 5 seconds. I got 3. Yeah, I don't know if you remember a flying knee where he slept.
I remember. Yeah. I think that's how we started the fight.
Yeah. He came in, the bell rung, he came in with a knee, and the guy was asleep.
Is that the one that he steps back and puts his hands behind his back?
Exactly.
And leans up against the octagon, right?
Yeah, they say fight, he runs and just flies.
And he's, did you see it?
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a huge highlight. Yeah.
I didn't even realize who.
You know what I love, though? That was great, though.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you got to see it.
I've seen it.
Knocks the hell out of it. But with a flying knee. No, but what was great was his post-fight interview. That was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
That was all Miami. No, you got to check this thing out. I can't even begin to tell you. It's just, it's all Miami.
Yeah, it is. No, one time backstage after a fight, he gets into like another little fight backstage with no gloves on with somebody else talking trash.
Like another fighter.
Yeah, another fighter. They were talking trash. They came up. They were trying to hold him back. He threw 2 punches. Pop, hit him. He said he hit him with a 2-piece and a soda. That went viral too.
He's a trip.
That's Miami talk. Yeah,
that's Miami talk.
You can't do that down here.
It's all about the
especially the upbringing, man. That's what it does.
Yeah, exactly.
Right in the backyard and just
So you got out of prison and you went to work for Pitbull?
Went to work with Pitt, yep.
And what were you doing for him?
I was his bodyguard, same thing I've been doing since I was a kid. He's my brother, you know what I mean?
Right.
If you ever, like I said, we never picked on nobody, but if you got into a problem, I was there for it.
Yeah.
So I got to do that, get paid for it, travel the world, man. I came out and a month later, I was in South Korea, Belgium, Japan, Italy.
So you had all the benefits that Pitbull had.
It was amazing.
That was great. So you had a great time.
Best time, man.
And how you doing?
And I was young. I was 25 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, let's talk about something that I know that's dear to your heart, which is you're involved with a nonprofit, right? Organization.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what?
I got there's one called Outside the Ring Champions, which I work with my boy Master Lewis. Shout out to him, great guy. He has an after school care. He helps kids with after school care programs for like food, for studying, for like, and then in Miami Lakes, in Opalaca, on these spaces where parents need to be working all day to try to put food on the table, So that's a great part. I go over there and I help the kids box. Kids from foster homes and stuff come over. And I'm also involved with 305 Gives Back, which is a nonprofit that helps us with the food, giving away the food for Fighting versus Hunger.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Terrific. Now that we're talking about food, Let's go straight into the next one.
Let's do it.
You said something before we went on the air, and you said something about food.
Arbetters? Hey, shout out to Arbetters. Those are my guys, man.
No. This fat ass here said something about Arbetters. Not you. No, you said something about food. That food is very important in your training.
Very, very. Not 90% of
it's your nutrition, your diet, right?
Staying in shape as a football player, you know what I mean? As a doctor, 90% of anything, of your sickness, of your health, of your staying in shape is all diet. And people, you could work out as hard as you want. You'll never have a six pack unless you eat right,
Correct. Look at me.
Yeah. Well,
listen, the closest I got was, the closest I got was a 4-pack. I could never get a 6-pack.
Did you have the top?
And
the top two?
Yeah, the top two. I can't get the damn 2 bottom ones. Okay, don't laugh.
I know the 2 bottom are the hardest ones.
So they call me 2-pack short of 6-pack.
2-pack Bosch.
2-pack Bosch.
That's awesome.
There we go. but yeah, food is very, very, and I tell everybody that. One of the things in functional medicine, which is where my expertise lies, right, is one thing is getting optimal, the best version of Ulysses,
right.
or the best version of Nick. But how do you maintain that? And the best way to maintain that is you medicate yourself with food.
Mm-hmm.
The problem here in this country is that we've marketed the hell out of food. Yes. So now there's breakfast, lunch, brunch, dinner,
that's
dinner,
true.
Snack.
Yeah.
Those are marketing terms. It should have been meal 1, meal 2, right?
Yeah, I mean that's true, but at the same time, it's you got to take account for yourself too.
Absolutely.
You got to know we're old enough. I mean, we're old enough, and we're fathers.
Yes.
And you got to know that McDonald's is gonna fuck you up.
Yes,
Burger King is gonna fuck you up. Yeah, it was great as a kid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Anymore.
But yeah, if you want to be running like a Ferrari, you got to give yourself that high octane.
Absolutely.
I think the biggest challenge for people, it's not necessarily when the meals are,
it's the
time, and people don't know how to be consistent with what they do.
True, and if you'd be surprised, where like nobody really knows about dieting. Like, and look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I've been around it. Like I've always been into training, whether it's doing weights, sports, anything. I've always liked to eat right. I've always liked to look good, and I always know those diet, but I still have trouble with it. My girl was part of a bodybuilding circuit, so she helps me a lot with my diet. So still to this day, I still have questions. So it's hard. You know what I mean? But
doesn't it help that you know your body and you know what?
Yeah, of course. Right? That helps a lot. That helps a lot when it comes to like the weight cutting for fights.
Yeah,
timing and everything. But if you want to do it healthy, it's definitely you got to do it.
Well, I asked Baboon the same question. What do you do to Baboon? Just give me an example. He walks around like 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah. Everybody does. Yeah.
And then do you do the same thing?
Yeah, I walk around about 15, 20 pounds heavier. Then you cut that weight because remember.
When do you start panicking? Or you never panic?
No, I panicked a couple of times. I actually have a torn bicep from a fight. I had a fight at the Hard Rock, a boxing match. I weighed in at 174 that day. I didn't hydrate back. I was dehydrated. I didn't hydrate back right. The next day I had a boxing match, and in the second round I threw a punch and my muscle snapped. I still have it ruptured. I never fixed it. And so that was I kind of panicked to make that weight, and then I saw that like I got to do this right. I can't be bullshitting. You can't lose 20 pounds in 2 days or some shit.
Right.
Your body's not gonna. Your body can't do that.
Yeah.
And then the next day you won't have the energy. Even if you do rehydrate yourself, you don't have the energy.
Right. You don't have the energy. And so, do you walk around a little heavier or a lot heavier, or you try to walk around the same weight that you fight? Because you fight what, 190?
I fight. My last 2 fights in bare knuckle have been 185. The lowest I got was 175, but I walk around 195. The most 200. I might touch 200 if I hit the Krispy Kreme and the cookies.
How many days before is the weigh-in?
One day before you fight.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, the day before is the weigh-in, and a little more than 24 hours later you're fighting.
Do you watch the series Kingdom?
Yeah.
Is that realistic how they do it?
No, it's a little Hollywood. Yeah. That's a good show though.
Yeah, I'm watching it now. It's pretty good. So I know they go through it when they gotta cut whatever it's called.
Yeah, you definitely go through it. Your attitude changes. You become an asshole. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That's terrific. Do you have any questions for Nick?
No, man, we were talking earlier. That's dope that you were in the league. Yeah, born and raised in Miami, you said too, right? What part of Miami you from?
I grew up in Carroll City.
In Carroll City, all right. You went to Carroll City?
No, I was supposed to go to Norland.
Okay.
So right before I
You're
was
by the stadium
there.
Yeah.
So right before I was gonna go there, the students jumped the principal.
Oh shit! Yeah, Norland was off the chain.
It was. So when they did that,
and we're the same age. I played
yeah.
basketball for high school, so I remember going to Norland to play.
So at that time, I was like, I got different goals, man. I got to get out of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I actually went to school in Broward. I went to Flanagan.
Oh, okay. Damn, that's a good school. That's a good school. Yeah, that's dope, man.
But
you went what school?
I went to South Miami, right here down the street. I went to Southwest, and then the Cobras, and then I ended up in
so he knows all about purple.
Yeah, of course. That's right.
Westchester.
Yeah, Westchester. Born and raised. Yeah.
So listen, I think you've given here, Nick, like a new
colors right now.
No, like a new goal. Right?
What's that?
He's 40 years old.
Yeah.
How old are you, Nick?
I'm a year younger.
Okay.
Well, not a year young. I'm a few months younger.
You could, because all kidding aside, you know, the first thing I thought about is, wow, you're 40 years old. That's amazing. First of all, you look like you're 25.
Thank you. I've never felt better. I've never been in a better shape or just better condition, not mentally, spiritually, physically, in my life. You know what I mean? And like I said, I went a big part of my life bullshitting. You know what I mean? Trying to figure it out, and now I got it. I don't have to completely figure it out. But, I'm on a good road. I feel I'm going a good way. I'm getting good results.
I think you motivate older athletes. You're definitely an example to follow. And I'm impressed with your humility as much as your talent.
Thank you.
And I still say it was 2 seconds. So have Guinness call me.
Yes.
I
definitely will.
All right. Because I saw it. So, but I want to thank you for coming on. We want to wish you the best.
Thank you.
And by the way, I'm going to be there in that fight.
Thank you. No.
Maybe you can break your own record, 1.5.
I'm not going for it. I'm actually fighting a great guy named Phil Baroni. He was a UFC veteran in my next fight. But I want to thank you, man, for giving me this opportunity. Both of you guys, thank you so much for having me on here. It's awesome to do it with you guys, Miami guys. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And I wanted to tell you, man, it's awesome what you're doing. In a loose sense of the word, we're both ex-cons.
Absolutely.
And you came out of that. I came out of it, you know what I mean? And we're doing great things, positive things. And it's awesome to see that, man.
Thank you. And on that note, and I guess that's why you said it best right now. We were ex-cons. We did what we did.
You get the stigma, you know what I mean?
You get the stigma. And really, you only have two choices when you come out. Right. Either you run away from that or you embrace it.
Right.
And I think both you and I embraced it.
Absolutely.
And if you do that, you become a better person.
Right.
And so I think, a priest once told me, the greatest group that God has ever put in one room has been
all criminals.
Well, he told me it has been alcoholics
right.
or addicts or whatever. Right. I want to add to that criminals too.
Right.
Believe it or not,
right.
A select few. Because I think we became a better person.
That's right.
A better person.
Absolutely.
When we came out of it. That's an important part of who we are now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We accepted it. We embraced it. We went head on with it, and we're an example for people that you can't change your life, man. If you put your head to it, you stay consistent, and over time you can be successful in anything you do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And stay away from bullshit.
Stay away from bullshit. That's gonna be hard here in Miami, but we're trying. We're trying.
I stay home, bro. I go with my girl. We eat. That's it, man.
We should do what our next guest actually did. He packed his car and he moved to Sarasota.
Yeah.
And he stayed there. But anyway,
like our boy right here.
My boy right there. Coming out next. Yeah. Anyway, it was awesome having you.
Thank you, brother.
Looking forward to it. Thanks.
You guys are the man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys.
All right.